Okay, welcome everyone. Episode 3, we're preparing the tech tree right now. We will be fighting on roadblocks and position capture, which is something to keep in mind, as position capture will force us to both relocate quite often, as well as secure our advance. So basically we'll need to defend and attack at the same time. So that's something to keep in mind. You can see we unlock the Opel Blitz. That's what we use the points for, because we didn't use the motorcycle before, so we use our free XP for that, and we'll also get Panzer III for sure. As well as all the tanks connected to the Panzer I, because we can, basically. I did forget to unlock the Panzerjäger, that's my oversight. That's just a small marder, basically. We could have taken that would be very helpful, but we didn't, and that's fine too. And yeah, here we get the better AA version. And as you can see, we'll be going through the position capture and roadblocks. Our infantry is not yet here, our tanks, that's why we will move all our regiment there. That is a mistake, by the way. We should have left infantry on Buzzerville, but we didn't. Which is a shame, but it is what it is. So now we remove everything from the basic tank regiment, and we'll be putting up our newly unlocked units in here so they can start getting experience and help us progress through the tech tree as well as through the campaign. Simple as that. Obviously medics, regardless of what happens, we need medics, so we get 10 medics. That's a good start. We'll take the Panzer IIIs for sure, since we unlocked them, and we take this AA gun, which is incredibly bad, by the way, compared to any other AA in the game. They always struggle to aim at the planes. It's just too slow to turn, basically. Most AA guns don't have this problem, but this one does, but we still take it, because we need something that can help us progress, basically. We will be switching units very often. Every fight, every mission is a redesign to some extent. Usually it's just small upgrades. Sometimes it's a full change. 10 bazookas. Oh no, we did take the AT rifles, which makes sense. We'll take the AT rifles and then bazookas will be on the second echelon. Gunners are quite cool because they don't cost CPs. So we can take as much gunners as we want. I mean, we're limited numbers, there's only 12 we can take at the same time in a specific slot. Or 20, sorry. But they do not cost CP, so we can call as many as you want on the map. The only problem is they're really here just to fill in the battalion. But they don't really have good stats for shooting, but they're still very helpful. It's nice to have gunners follow you around when you progress with tanks, for instance. So the first echelon is quite good. We have pretty much every weapon in the game. We still lack anti-artillery capabilities, but we don't really need them just yet, so that's fine. And second echelon will do something very similar, I believe, with maybe mobile troops in the form of trucks, and that's very good because this way you can be more aggressive. The main problem with assaults is that sometimes if you have some form of losses, either because of your own fault or maybe because you got shot by Alti, you will need to resupply your assault rounds to be able to continue, and those trucks guarantee that you will be able to do this. It's just mere seconds, but 20 seconds is enough for you to reach your struggling troops and reinforce them. So that's very important to have mobile troops in some form if you're attacking. Maybe not on first echelon, because obviously the first point is usually quite close, but second or third echelon just need to have some form of mobile infantry at least. And that's how I feel about it. You can have paratroopers instead, but or half tracks, etc. But some form of mobility just is straight up required as far as I'm concerned. We take the Pak 36 not because I like Pak 36s, but because we want to progress through the Tech tree too. Although they are very good against infantry, surprisingly. They don't reveal themselves so that easily, so you can camouflage them and then they'll kill a lot of infantry before they actually give up or eventually get shot by a tank. Like large tanks can just decrew the gun very easily, so that's why it's not exactly the best weapon out there. And just way more infantry on third echelon. The idea is simple, but I'll like the way we'll play it with the deck. I'll explain this, and once we start the campaign, well, once we start the mission, sorry. And yeah, since we're a tank regiment, we'll take more tanks, basically. In total, that is seven Panzer IIIs, plus a huge amount of infantry, AT cannon, AA gun. We have a lot of firepower. I did take engineers because I assume they will have time and the possibility to reinforce an area with engineers. I tried to do this to some degree, but I was a bit busy during the mission. You'll see what I mean very soon. And just like so, roadblocks. So I didn't show it because I didn't really want to edit it in. It would take too much time, but this is the first mission that I actually lost. What happened is I went on the objective A first because it was isolated, and I thought it would be easier, but because I didn't secure the point D and C, I didn't really have an easy time flanking A, and because of that, I couldn't attack the point at all, as I will show it a bit later. But point A on this map is a gigantic hill with bunkers, a small forest next to it. It's very difficult to attack from frontally. There is a way to do this, and we'll do this a bit later here, and then I'll explain exactly what happens, but yeah. For now, we deploy the same tactics as we did on the last assault. We just secure the frontal area, we secure the approaches, and we'll start moving towards our next objective, which is point C in this case. It will be a very difficult fight because we'll be fighting for point C, D at the same time. We'll get the enemy reinforcements against us, so it will be very, very challenging, or rather it will feel like we are fighting in place, not achieving much. Meanwhile, we'll be actually achieving a lot. It's just, it won't show in the form of captured positions right away. It will take time, and it will require some level of aggression too. You will see I will lose a lot of tanks on this mission because of how I played it. I made some mistakes because I got frustrated at some point with a couple of things happening within the mission, namely a certain steward refusing to die, but we'll see. For now, our tanks move in almost point blank because their machine guns are more effective this way. We destroy the bunker, suppress the enemy behind the cover, and our infantry moves in. This infantry on the left side, it seems like they're not doing much, but they're very important. If an enemy tank arrives, they'll be there to respond, right? So our Panzer IIIs won't get flanked. Again, we just think ahead and make sure tanks don't get destroyed while being in a very risky position. They're just moving face first right now inside the enemy positions. And as you can see, Stuart arrives. We don't want to have to deal with infantry on flanking us from the left at the same time, right? That's exactly why we dug those trenches on the left. It was super important and we did it, so we're alive. And just like this, the point C will go down very quickly. The Panzer III at this stage of the war is the equivalent of a heavy tank, and that's exactly how we are using him, just outgunning the enemies completely. The Stuart can still damage us. He damaged our gun too, so one more shot like this and we will go down, but it doesn't matter, we finished him off. We die for this. But the point is captured, the Stuart is cleared, and our infantry can move in en masse to secure the point and then trench here while we prepare to attack D. This was quite a good and swift assault compared to... I tried to do exactly the same on point A, and I just got decimated because of how the point is built. So yes, choosing carefully the geography of the terrain and, let's say, your firing positions is quite important, regardless of the mode, because I know some people would rather play the enemy campaign with the realism mode activated. But even if you play with realism, you still need to pay attention to those things. Even more than ever. I say this because of artillery. Here, with infinite ranges, you can be a bit more forgiving on how you position your artillery or indirect fire weapons, but with realism, you're stuck at certain ranges for RT or indirect fire weapons, and in this sense, obviously, you want to pay attention to where you place them. And in the case of competitive gameplay, you at least, in that sense, it's definitely easier that you don't have to relocate to RT because of the angles. You relocate it only if you think the enemy knows where you are. So a bit less micro here. In the case of realism, in the case of competitive settings, when it comes to managing your RT, on the other hand, it is way easier to be in danger without you can't get spotted at all within competitive settings, which is also why I play it. If you shoot too often, the enemy RT will just absolutely demolish you. That's the only thing that's gonna happen. So to some extent it does limit your firepower. You need to pay attention where you place your tanks to and how and when you attack. That's also why I attack this way. Because you can see I move very carefully forward and then we just move in one go. And we have to do this because normally we would be under artillery fire. We aren't, but we will eventually be under heavy artillery fire while attacking, and we won't be able to stop. So we'll have to move in fast, eliminate the enemy, entrench, and prepare for the next assault. And that's what we'll be doing. For now we are under mortar fire, which is understandably complicating things. We almost lost 5 people due to this, because we bunched them up. This mortar is located on point A, by the way. It appears from time to time, and this mortar will stay there for a very long time. Which is fine. We can still fight outside of his range. And to some extent it's still only a mortar, so there are worse things out there to worry about. Like the enemy Scots. Or the Stuarts. For now we just pick up the infantry again and set up the Pak 35. I don't think this Pak 35 will do a lot, to be honest, although it... Oh, that was the flak cannon that did this. Yeah, I doubt the Pak 35 will be able to do a lot. It's a bit too much micro to use an 80 tank gun on attack. It can have its uses on defense though. I used a lot of flak 38s. Sorry, flak 88s and 38s. When defending, so basically stationary guns. Light tanks still have their uses though. But anyways, we'll be trying to get rid of the Molotov and clearing out this building now with direct fire from a Panzer III. We'll lose one of the Panzer IIIs because the engine was destroyed. So it cannot move anymore, and we'll just get destroyed like this. Yes, yes. It got flanked, by the way. It got flanked from the hill, and that's why it was not destroyed. This is fine. It looks like we retreated almost. We lost a Panzer III, the other one is damaged, so the situation looks critical, but it isn't. We managed to advance and allow our Panzer III to clear out an enemy an enemy structure. There is still one enemy inside of it, but we killed most of them. So now if we assemble our infantry and just rush in like this, we will be able to capture the point. We just need to reassemble our troops now, because we had a lot of losses right now. We lost basically 2 tanks and a squad. So we slowly get ready for another assault and we prepare the ground for it. We will get there eventually. We will get there. 5 minutes adventure. We're digging trenches there, because we want to prevent the enemy assaults from the right to hit us like they did before. The steward that arrived out of the blue didn't help, so we are getting rid of them before they reach the point this time. The map is quite narrow, so we don't have a choice. And our engineers came in handy, right? We can build an NG tower. So it looks a bit weird that we are fortifying this area while we're just next to the point, but we don't really have a choice. The enemy keeps coming in this case, so if we don't fortify this place, we won't get to attack the point. They'll be constantly counter-attacking. So we're building those defense lines. It will slow down the enemy, will engage them a bit, and while they're fighting those defenses, we'll capture the point. And then we can retreat all the flank defenses to attack point A. That's the plan here. That's why I did it this way. And it will work, just as you would expect. So in this sense, it's a lot of back and forth. You need to time your assaults right and understand why you're stuck in place. There's only one thing that is horrible in this case, and that is this machine gun. I've spent way more time and energy trying to destroy this than I should. Also, that was a quite devastating mortar hit. We lost 2 people from that. Yeah, and here you can see I had enough. I really had enough of this machine gun. Because we killed the crew, but it doesn't matter, we still need to destroy it. If we don't destroy it, they will recrew it. And thankfully our Panzer III gets destroyed, but it's what's left of the Panzer III rolls over the MG and it blows up. And just like this, finally, we can start thinking about assaulting that objective. Because for now we were just staging, we're still staging to attack it. But with the machine gun destroyed, we destroyed the engine of the steward, so our AT rifles will be able to kill it. As you can see, the tracks really come in handy, right? Because here I would need to probably almost fall back the flak 88, the flak 38. The flak would need to fall back. The cannon, the AT cannon I set up on the flank would also need to move back, because they would bring reinforcements before my infantry came in if they were walking on foot, but they came by Opel Blitz. So I was able to deploy them and help secure the area and make sure our cannons don't end up alone. So that's why those Opel Blitzes are quite important. And there we go, Stuart destroyed. With the Stuart being dealt with, there's not much they have left to defend the point. So we can see I start moving up quite aggressively now to try to capture it. Especially we secure the fields on the right, we're securing the road soon with a Panzer III that we just called in. Oh no, we didn't call it in. We wanted to, never mind. But yes. We're also capturing point D as we speak. And after we clear this building, it will be ours. Now that we did this, all we have to do is to prepare for point A. Panzer III obviously retreating. You can hit double F, it retreats unit off the map. Very helpful to not lose them. And at this stage we're already thinking about attacking the hill. That's all that's really left to do for us. We still need to defend point D and C, but as you could see, they aren't exactly obvious to take. It's mostly because of the wall, by the way. The wall around the buildings makes it very difficult to assault the buildings themselves, so you end up at close range against someone who has, well, a bunker to sit in. One of the ways to defend, to get rid of this place, is to destroy the walls. If you destroy the walls, you can engage them at long range and there is more of you, right? But if you do this, then the place becomes hard to defend, and that's what you want, because you're supposed to hold it later on, so it's a vicious circle. You want to basically assault this place without destroying it too much. And if you manage to do this, then there you go. Your little marginal line is ready. And that's what we got. Now just another lucky Panzer III. The plane stopped right in front of it. I don't know what to do with the Kubelwagen, so I just sent him down for the cinematic. He did run over one guy. No one really expected that one. Get wrecked, boy. But yes. Not really roleplay to suicide our Opel Blitz, but we don't have cannons that we would like to move, so we used it to scout a bit, make sure there's no one on top of the hill that would throw AT grenades on the Panzer IIIs, but there isn't, so everyone now moves up. And finally, as you can see this hill now, that is the hill I was talking about. This place, that's just not something you want to attack frontally. Way too many bunkers stacked on top of each other. There are bazookas in one of those. There's a mortar. If enemy tanks keep coming while you assault this is really just a death trap. Especially you keep getting attacked from the flank, from the hill. Just insanity to attack this from the front. Later on, with a flamethrower tank, why not? This would definitely be possible. With like, or if you play Americans versus Germans, you take a Zippo, you just burn the place down. Or the flame half-tracks. But we had this map on tier 1. And since it was on tier 1, well... we don't really have a choice other than doing it like this. The more traditional way, let's say. Because that's the main... I think that's the main point of the specialization of certain battalions. Namely, like, half-tracks with certain special weapons. For instance, you have like a half-track with a 75 AT cannon on it. Now the question is, why would you take this over a tank destroyer, right? And the point is that there are some specializations within those battalions. Maybe you have Goliaths, maybe you have some other form of special weapon that you would like to use. And if you use it, then you will have to rely on another more specialized weapon to assume certain roles, basically. In this case, if you rely heavily on flamethrowers to breach fortifications, you don't need that much artillery, you don't need heavy tanks to begin with. You could go with tank destroyers. So like flamethrowers, tank destroyers, and some form of light anti-ALTI or even recon units to get rid of ALTI, to be honest. Yeah, and that would already help a lot with this specific hill. It's just on tier 1 we don't really have a choice. So that's how it went. But yeah, point A is ours. There's no way they'll retake any of those points, we just won. That's pretty much it. .300 kills on an assault, but quite a lot of tanks. Americans still trying to assault point D, but it won't work. We'll still have a Panzer III there covering the angle, so we are safe. The Pak-35 will engage the Stuart, but whoa, barrels. Explosive barrels doing massive damage. Hull pierced and truck damaged by AT rifles from the building, so yeah, that assault didn't stand a chance. And victory, basically. Victory right now for our tank battalion, I believe that was. .280 kills, 25 destroyed vehicles, although a chunk of those were recon planes. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this mission. And after the tech tree right now, we will be unlocking every unit that gathers some experience, so obviously the Pak 38 a bit too expensive, but we still get it for now. We want RT on the next mission to be available. For now we'll be fine without it, but we'll need it soon. There's one thing. We get the new AA guns, which is super cool. We're getting closer to the Pak 38, and that's already a tier 4 unit, so we're already above the current tier, because we will be playing a tier 2 mission, and we already have a tier 3 unit, so in that sense we already advanced quite quickly for the tree. The rifleman won't be available for now, but that's fine, we'll eventually get there, because we want Panzer Grenadiers for sure. They're just super cool. Although we can advance through the entire tree at the same time, and that's what we want to do, so we can troll a bit from tier 5 full. I'll definitely be playing with more flame hard tracks and mortar hard tracks, just for the memes, sooner or later. It's just for now we can't really do it, because we didn't unlock them yet. And here we go for the Panzer IV, we get it for free, same as the new version of the Panzer III. And we start using our points to unlock the new tank.